So OnePlus just launched the OnePlus Nord for 25K in India. Let's talk about that and if the OnePlus Nord is overhyped and overpriced. What's up peeps, Munchie here. OnePlus finally revealed the OnePlus Nord and that launch event was, in my opinion, a big failure. I mean, after waiting for 10 minutes, I thought that it was on Lou's later channel and not on Unbox Therapy. I guess somebody had to wake him up. So they launched the device for 25K. The model which will sell for 25,000 Indian rupees is the 6GB RAM and 64GB variant. For starters, this won't be available till September. The device is launching in August. The cheapest model will be available in September. What the heck? Then in 2020, you are launching a device with 64GB of storage. Last year, when Google launched the Pixel 3a with 64GB, all the media outlets were like, oh, why are you launching a phone with 64GB? And those very same media outlets and YouTube reviewers and glorified salesmen are not saying anything about that. Why? So we're going to say that the OnePlus Nord is priced at 28K because that is the variant which will be available on August 4th. That is the variant which has 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, which I think is a minimum in 2020. So the 25K price is as good as Motorola launching their recent device for 17,000 and then jacking up the price to 17,500 after the first sale. OnePlus is even more shameless. They're like, we are here to fool you right away. Next up, their policy. So MKBHD in his initial impressions video said that they're not allowed to review the device. Well, so you want people to buy your device without watching the reviews? Because he said that there's another embargo for the reviews. So I'm guessing the reviews will be out after the initial or after the first sale so that the people who are hyped about the device buy it. Well, those people are gonna buy it irrespective, but this policy of not letting the reviewers review the device and instead post a hands-on first is like, man, things these companies do for marketing. I'm pretty sure most of you have by now realized that OnePlus is no longer the flagship killer. They are here to milk your money. They put it out as if they were doing me a favor by launching a cheap OnePlus device. No, you are doing yourself a favor. You know that people are not interested in buying high-end devices. The prices at which OnePlus phones are right now, people are not interested in buying them. That is why you launched a mid-range device and you market it as like we're going back to our roots. Now, in case you don't know OnePlus, your roots were to sell the highest spec device at a very competitive price. Selling your 8 and 8 Pro at iPhone and Google prices is not a flagship killer, and selling a mid-range device with mid-range specs at a mid-range price is not going back to your roots, just for your information. Now let us talk about this processor. So this processor 765 5G. People in India, you do realize that 5G in India will be coming in 2021. By that time, the OnePlus Nord will be useless, or it might be time for the OnePlus Nord 2 to launch. For the Indian audience, you will never be using the 5G functionality of this phone. You will still be using the 4G functionality. Now the only advantage which I see on the Nord is that it has a 90Hz AMOLED panel. And for the price, it is good, but those of you who watched the presentation, OnePlus was comparing the display refresh rates, right? They showed 0 Hz, then they showed 30 Hz, and then they showed 90 Hz. They totally skipped 60 Hz. You know why? Because it is next to impossible to show it on camera. And I wonder if you can actually feel the difference with your naked eye and if it is even worth it. I mean, until and unless you are gaming, and I guess for gaming you should go for a 144 Hz refresh rate. The 765G in terms of benchmarks is pretty close to the 845. The only reason they have 765G is because it is a newer chip, and as per reports and rumors, Qualcomm does not support a chip after 2 years. So they might very well have ended support for the 845, which might have forced OnePlus to get in and put the 765 5G. But it really doesn't make sense in the Indian market to have a device with 5G, but you don't have a 5G network available. And then they have four cameras on the back. Now, only two cameras I think are of use. The other two cameras are just there for increasing the camera count. That's it. The front having a wide angle, I think, is a good decision, but then again, you do have other options in this price range or even at a lower price. The other thing they skipped is the 3.5 mm jack. Why? In the interview with MKBHD, where they were marketing the OnePlus Nord and talking about the prices of the spare parts which go into building a phone, Carl P could not justify or could not quantify how much battery they increased on their device when they removed the 3.5 mm jack. The other thing is, how would they launch the OnePlus Buds at the same event if the OnePlus Nord had a 3.5 mm jack? They are there to do business. That's what they are there for. OnePlus is no longer a brand for the enthusiast. They just, every time they're like, we are a small company, we are a small company. Well, for how long will you call yourself a small company? You are backed by BBK Electronics. You are not a small company. You cannot bring in that sympathy card any longer. And then they've cut corners in like storage. It is UFS 2.1. The USB port is USB 2.0. I mean, for 25K in India, you do have other options available, which are like the Redmi K20 Pro. Even though people hate MIUI and them having the Clean Master app and the security app is like a big issue, that phone is still available, the Realme X3. Now, the only selling point which I see for OnePlus is that their software. There is no doubt that Oxygen OS is a very good Android skin. But other than that, I think the OnePlus Nord is just a brilliant opportunist move by OnePlus. That's what it is. They can come out and say whatever they feel like saying in MKBHD's marketing video that we tested these prototypes. I mean, have a look at the Realme X55G and then put the Nord on the other side. You can clearly see the similarities. No matter what crap Carl P pulls out on camera that we went through multiple prototypes, it's not the truth. OnePlus fanboys can get all hurt and whatever they feel like, but the truth will remain the truth. And they are saying they're not gonna launch the OnePlus Nord in the US. Remember, they tied up with T-Mobile in US to get some market share, and clearly they ain't selling. Why won't you launch a mid-range device in the US when everybody knows how big of a success the Pixel 3a was? It was the number one seller on Amazon.com, and I'll tell you why. Because right now, people don't care about OnePlus in the US. Only the fanboys care about it. And before I end, let's talk about the camera on OnePlus devices. They are using this IMX586 sensor, and yes, another positive is that it has OIS. Now, OIS in this price range is an important thing, but those who care about camera quality and those who are enthusiasts, I'm pretty sure you're gonna run Gcam ports on this OnePlus Nord. Other than that, I don't think so OnePlus cameras are capable of beating the Pixel devices. And I'm pretty sure the Pixel 3a with its single camera can beat the OnePlus Nord with its four cameras any day. To end the video, OnePlus always overhypes their products. That's what they do. You have to give it to them that their products are marketed very nicely. To some people like me, it seems overhyped, and other people are like becoming fanboys because of that, and their software is good. Those are a few things you have to give to OnePlus, but other than that, Nord is just another normal phone which has been overhyped by the YouTubers, the glorified salesmen who do not call OnePlus out on their BS. They always have a soft corner for OnePlus, and I don't know the reason for that.